In Python, like other programming languages, loop control flow refers to the mechanisms that allow you to control the execution of loops, enabling you to repeat a block of code multiple times. In this category, we have for loop and while loop, and then some specific statements that are used along with these two types of loops: break, continue, pass, and then we can also talk about nested loops that basically are loops within loops. For a simple for loop, I provide a simple example there, which basically is the syntax for the for loop. So we say for I being just a dummy variable in range, and range is a Python function that generates an iterable. So it's not a list, but it does create um, an iterable that you can iterate through if you want to think about it. So range 5 means you basically have numbers from 0 to 4. You have 5 numbers, and then it prints in every iteration I takes the value, one value in the range, and then we print the value. So this will give you numbers from 0 to 4. For a while loop, while the condition holds true, it continuously checks the condition. The statements inside the while loop will be executed. And then as soon as the condition is not true anymore, the program exits the while loop. Just keep in mind that when you're writing a while loop, it's super important to not to forget to manipulate the condition that you're checking during every iteration. Otherwise, you're gonna get stuck in an infinite while loop, meaning that the condition never changes within the loop. So if it's true at the beginning, it's just gonna stay true, and the program basically never stops and gets stuck. Now let's go to our VS Code environment, and let's take a look at maybe a little bit of a more comprehensive example for a for loop. I'm going to define a function square numbers, which takes a list or a sequence, better to say, as an input. Inside the function, we define an empty list and we iterate through the numbers in the sequence, and then add the square. We calculate the square of each number, and then add that to the list. So we start with an empty list, and then for each number in the list or a sequence, we find the squared value and append it to the list. And you saw the method append before when we were talking about lists, basically sequences. So let me call this square numbers, and let's just put maybe some numbers 1 2 3 4. If I run this, I call this function, let me just clean it up a little bit here. There you go. It will give me 1 4 9 16, right? So for each item in the list, I'm getting the squared value of that number.